Unraveling the genetic code. The connection between genetics and inherited traits. Introduction. In the intricate tapestry of life, the connection between genetics and inherited traits weaves the story of our biological identity. This video explores the fundamental principles of genetics, the role of DNA, and how genetic information is passed from one generation to the next, shaping the traits that define us. 1. Genetics as the blueprint of life. Genetics is the scientific study of genes, the heredity of traits, and the variation in living organisms. Genes, composed of DNA, serve as the molecular blueprints that dictate the development and functioning of all living organisms. 2. The structure of DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, is a double-stranded helical structure that carries the genetic instructions necessary for the growth, development, functioning, and reproduction of all known living organisms. DNA is organized into units called genes, each containing the instructions for specific traits. 3. Genes and alleles. Genes exist in different forms called alleles. Alleles are variations of a gene that may result in different observable traits. The combination of alleles inherited from both parents contributes to an individual's genetic makeup, known as their genotype. 4. Dominance and recessiveness. Inherited traits are often governed by the principles of dominance and recessiveness. Dominant alleles express their traits even when only one copy is present, while recessive alleles require two copies for their traits to manifest. This interplay influences the observable characteristics, or phenotype, of an individual. 5. Mendelian inheritance. The principles of inheritance, first elucidated by Gregor Mendel, describe the transmission of genetic traits from one generation to the next. Mendel's laws, including the law of segregation and the law of independent assortment, provide a foundational understanding of how genetic information is passed on. 6. Genetic variation and mutations. Genetic variation arises from mutations, changes in the DNA sequence. While some mutations can result in observable traits, others may be silent or have no apparent effect. The accumulation of genetic variations over time contributes to the diversity observed within populations. 7. Polygenic inheritance. Many traits are influenced by multiple genes in what is known as polygenic inheritance. These traits exhibit a continuous range of variation rather than distinct categories, reflecting the complex interplay of multiple genetic factors. 8. Genetic disorders. Genetic disorders result from abnormalities in the DNA sequence. These disorders can be inherited or arise spontaneously. Understanding the genetic basis of disorders is crucial for diagnosis, treatment, and genetic counseling. 9. Genetic code and protein synthesis. The genetic code stored in DNA is transcribed into RNA and translated into proteins. Proteins are the molecular machines that carry out most cellular functions and contribute to the development of traits. The sequence of amino acids in a protein is determined by the sequence of nucleotides in the DNA. 10. Environmental influence on traits. While genetics plays a pivotal role in determining traits, environmental factors also contribute to the expression of certain characteristics. The interaction between genes and the environment, known as nature versus nurture, influences the overall development of an individual. Conclusion. The connection between genetics and inherited traits is a cornerstone of biological understanding. It shapes the essence of who we are, influencing our physical features, susceptibility to diseases, and even aspects of our behavior. As genetic research advances, the intricate dance between genes and traits continues to be unveiled, offering insights that not only deepen our understanding of life's complexities but also hold potential implications for personalized medicine and the prevention of genetic disorders.